the three that the Earth guys have are completely different from everything. So in the realm of the free... Oh, man.
That's
Damn.
how you spell twice.
No. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Justin, and we are back with the penultimate episode of the first season of Gundam seed. Before anything else, though, we do have a couple of comments. First up, we have from the Patreon, L. Claus from the episode The Nightmare Reborn. I see the compilation films will be put on Patreon. A good idea. People can message things you may have missed when talking to Lessons. I think my second watch of Seed was the best. Seed is one of those shows that is better when you're in on the plot and themes already. Although frankly, Theta, you have a UC type attitude pretty strongly, so you'll probably like Destiny better. Then, at some point, think it sucks, but who knows? I guess, point to make up front. Obviously, the next week of recordings, I guess this is more important for silver tier Patreon members than it is for YouTube, who are going to be hearing this in the future.
This message is officially a time traveler.
Well, I was almost going to say long after we're dead, but it's like, not that far ahead.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's always been my thing. I've made that joke before. Some of these recordings that we've done, I could die tomorrow and they'll still be coming out for like a year. So it's kind of my like, oh, he's dead, but he can still listen to him. Anyway. Next week on recordings is when me and Lessons are going to pick up the compilation films. So it's 3 recordings to get him caught up instead of doing 50 more recordings.
Yeah, it's because that is a smarter way to do it versus being a glutton for punishment.
Well, you know, that's something I was thinking about when Griffin quit the channel and we brought you in.
Mm-hmm.
And we started everything over again. And then technically we still haven't finished a bunch of the shows. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm not starting anything over again. I am just going to power through everything. Then the same thing, kind of like how we got you caught up on all of the Patreon requested shows. Fuck it. I am just dropping Lessons in wherever it is. I'm not doing that again. Plus, me and him don't have the same amount of recording time to power through in that way. It is just... How many shows did we get done this year? You and me.
We got Frieren.
Pluto.
Gurren Lagann. We're gonna go through the first season of this.
Okay, if we're counting seasons, then we will have finished Mushoku Tensei first season.
Yep.
Diebuster.
Gunbuster.
Yeah, Gurren Lagann.
Quite a few.
Yeah. And yet, for some reason, I'm just stuck in my head. Still didn't finish Full Metal Alchemist. Not gonna finish Jujutsu Kaisen. I am just stuck in the idea that I started this year myself watching at least 3 shows that I'm gonna have to still finish. I feel like I've put myself into that position. I should have just finished them. I have been thinking to myself, maybe I'll try and do a stream, like a power through stream or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like do it up on Twitch. All the episodes in between that I've already seen once to catch myself back up with, to have an audience with me.
Makes sense.
Just something I thought about. As for the rest of the comment, obviously I don't know what a UC type attitude is compared to the rest. So
I do not know either.
I mean, considering we're only 15 episodes into UC, I don't know what a UC attitude is.
Fair enough. Eventually you'll learn. Once far too late.
But I won't remember this comment.
Exactly.
That'd be 49 episodes or whatever into Universal Century, and I mean, anyway, next up, Impulse Strike 00 or 00 from the episode On a Calm Day.
Okay.
From the last episode, Bad Girl, your words, LOL, blushed because she started to order Kira, then realized that they were undercover. I think it was clearer in other translations. In the one you watched, she started to call him Ensign, but caught herself.
Okay, I see that gives it some reason. It's still an interesting spot to blush.
Yeah, but also like if they were gonna do that, they should have been like a capital E and a dash to show us that she was about to say something. Because all she does for us is turn around and say Kira, blush.
Agreed.
And lastly, we have from Zero Hera, or Herrera, as I think it might actually be, from the same episode. As they mentioned, births are regulated in the plants with arranged marriages because of a declining birth rate. While a few couples manage to marry for love, others do have premarital or extramarital affairs with those they have an emotional connection, but can't have children with them. Siegel makes it clear that the current system of coordinator exclusive reproduction isn't working, while Patrick doesn't care and is pushing ahead, hoping that technology catches up and fixes the problem. The irony is that Siegel's stance already seems to have a solution. If the war ends and naturals and coordinators can coexist, the children between them are likely to be a lot more genetically stable and fertile, as the genes between the two are sufficiently varied that there won't be as much overlap causing issues, which improves the odds for the next generation, and so on. Patrick, like so many other purity elitists in the past, would drive his faction to extinction if it meant that they stayed pure.
Yes, very much accurate and agreed. That was concise and to the point.
I mean, it was 2 paragraphs, but I don't know. The whole thing that we got from that one, that was 4 episodes ago, showing the difficulty in making coordinator kids. I don't think it would be. I think you would just start having naturals again, even if coordinators were having kids with naturals.
I think it would be more of very much like real life, a genetic lottery, and it would. There would be guaranteed be a possibility of finding something in between.
I don't know. That just seems like a centrist statement. And by centrist, I don't mean political. I just mean the hope for, can't think of the word. When you like things to be symmetrical.
Oh, I know.
Anyway, it just feels like the hope for that. Like, you're not a biologist, I'm not a biologist, we're not mathematicians either, we don't know statistics of this or anything. But the hope is that somebody on a far right... I already did. You've already told me not to, and I've done it again. This is where you hang up on the call. Fuck you! He leaves early. No, I'm just saying that we don't have the knowledge of this. So the best hope that we could throw out there as people who like things to be in the middle is that the person on the far right and the person on the far left make a baby that's center.
And that's how politics work.
No, I literally started the whole statement about not being political.
No. Yeah. Yeah, no, very much so.
Alright, well, why don't you go ahead and give us a recap of what happened last episode?
My recap? Sure. This isn't my recap. Wait. I believe we're just doing a lot of fighting right now.
I didn't tell you to recap the whole series. I just want you to recap last episode.
Like, oh, Oh, wait, that's what it was. I saw one word and then it reminded me. We're dealing with stuff with the big laser.
You remember the name?
Genesis. Because it makes me think of either Phil Collins or the Bible.
For the life of me, I can't remember the other lead singer of Genesis. Off the top of my head.
I think I might know it.
Yeah, even though we've already heard your mouse click, and now your hands are reaching over for your keyboard. I might know it. Click, 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 click.
No, I'm confirming it because I don't want to sound dumb because it doesn't sound right.
Our general audience is maybe half the age we are. No one's going to think you're dumb. I, in fact, believe that nobody...
Gabriel.
Yeah, it is Peter Gabriel. I'm going to say that most of our audience is probably not going to fucking care. They're skipping over this part.
It was the moment of me going, why am I thinking it's Peter Gabriel? And I wanted to confirm. I
mean, the only name that came in my head was Robert Stamp, and that's like the wrong guy in total.
Oh no, completely.
Yeah.
But yes, last episode, Genesis crazy space laser, Earth forces retreat, fighting continued. That's what I remember.
All right. Well, there's no point bringing up the board, because nothing really changed on the board. No one new has been introduced. No one that's existing has died. Switched allegiances. Any of that. I guess at most I could have moved Rao into the unknown camp. But,
yeah.
I mean, he's still technically on the zaft side of things.
True.
Alright, well, Theta's thoughts then.
Indeed.
The last Theta's thoughts of the season. Because I don't foresee me doing this for the compilation movies, because what would I be doing? Alright, here's all of my thoughts from the first 25 episodes. That's a lot of work for me, and that's just a lot of wasted time. So,
I was about to say.
Alright. Okay, first thing to point out is that not everyone in Asriel's little boardroom was down for an all-out nuclear attack. Not so much a how could you response, but more of a we have problems at home, we should be focusing on one. The real stinger, though, is that Asriel implies that it isn't like they haven't used them before, meaning that Janus 7 isn't going to end up being some mystery inside job or false flag operation or anything. We are just straight up taking credit for it. Like a dude just flat out says, that was all you're doing. Asriel, the leader of Blue Cosmos, is the perpetrator of the Bloody Valentine incident.
Oh yeah, no, Asriel's something special. That's the way that I'm gonna say it.
What does it mean that he hasn't like come out and said it before? So 2 episodes ago, now we know it wasn't like a false flag operation or something. They did it.
Yeah, and like it's very much a case of we've seen villains or antagonists that you get a clear reason as to why they're doing what they're doing. It's X, Y, or Z, and but like, and you can somewhat be like, I get it. With Asriel, none of that's there.
Oh, I mean, I don't know how much there is to get it, but I mean, you know what he's about. It's just racism.
That's what but that's what I mean. Like the blatant racism and not putting any other really redeeming qualities there, I think highlights the quality of villain he is for this part of the series.
Well, I mean, he's a mirror to Patrick.
True.
It's not like Patrick has any real redeeming qualities either. They just do the same thing.
Yes, but we're right now. Patrick is still one of those figures that's like an untouchable figure. Like we've never seen Patrick in the line of fire.
I mean, he's as on the line of fire as Asriel is.
Asriel's on the ships that we could lose.
Yeah, and
We don't know.
Patrick was on the base that was being attacked, and then now he's on the major weapon that's being attacked. He was in the line of fire of nuclear missiles.
That might be the case, but to me, it feels like Azrael is much more of a tangible, like you can grasp him and hurt him villain.
Well, I'm saying that all the surviving Earth forces are actively attacking the position that Patrick is at.
It's true. That's just the energy I get from it, though. So,
All right. The Boaz Defense Force and the council members present there were just completely unprepared for what was happening to them. Rao almost tries to warn them with his cryptic, "I wonder what they are really up to," but Yazik's mother is like, "It's just normal mobile suits and a few new models, nothing to be worried about." Even though the reports from the front are saying that the Gundams are the ones that Rao himself reported on before.
yeah. It's what's made it so Rao has stayed a mysterious figure. He's never because he very clearly set up for Flay to get away. We don't know who he's with.
Well,
and a lot of the actions have shown that it might not be answered this season.
Well, no, we know who he's with. Nobody. He's operating on Chaos's side. He wants everyone to die.
But that could be a cover for something else.
I don't think you reveal that Rao wants everyone to die and he feels like he's the person who has the right to make that call, like 10 episodes before the end, to then reveal that, oh, no, actually, it was a double bluff. Because that, I feel like, would be dumb.
Yeah, you're right.
Anyway. To bring something up in the discussion about the fall of Boaz that seems like it should also happen, they wonder if Zaft will use nukes back after nukes have already been used against them. We know that they up the ante and use Genesis, but why wouldn't they also have nukes? It feels entirely possible that Zaft could launch a wave of nukes alongside the Genesis attacks. All things being equal, Genesis is basically a targeted version of Cyclops, which the Earth Alliance had. If the Earth Alliance had nukes and a beam weapon that they just set to self-destruct, why couldn't Zaft have both as well? Yazik's mother included that they refrained from attacking Earth with nukes, so one has to assume that they have them.
Oh, it's a fair assumption that nukes were previously on the board. There is stockpiles, but it was agreed upon these are not used.
Yeah, but I mean, they should be using them now.
Agreed.
Batgirl suggests it might have been better if Flay had stayed behind at the lunar base. So, just another in the line of Flay being suggested to be somewhere that'll be destroyed by a super weapon.
I think Flay's story is cleaner if where she is gone by the end of this season.
Well, no, I mean, she's on the Dominion, and she's talking to Batgirl, and Batgirl's like, you may have been better off if you had stayed at the lunar base. And we know that the lunar base is actively about to be shot. I don't think we have actually seen it yet. By the Genesis. Just the same way that she was being left at the Antarctic. Sorry, I almost said Australian ant. Any name with an A, except for the right one.
The Australian?
Well, it's Josh A, but my brain just isn't working. It's an American state? Yes, there we go. Well, Josh A is the name of the base, but I don't think that works as a good recognizable. The Alaska base, which is also hit by Cyclops. So both places that she was recommended to stay in are places that were going to be destroyed by a super weapon.
Unless unless it's like actively turned into a thing that if Flay shows up and then leaves as the death flag for the location, then yes.
I mean, Flay was at Orb too.
That's what I mean. If the trend continues, sure, but I think it would be a very clean ending to both Flay and Bad Girl if the Dominion was blown up before the end of this season.
I think it's the exception because Flay was on the Archangel, and the Archangel is fine.
Yeah, but it's the Archangel.
No, that's what I'm saying. I think ships are the exception. Locations, not ships.
Okay, I could see that.
Because, well, actually, she was on the Vesalius, and the Vesalius got destroyed. Well, I don't know. I guess if the Dominion gets destroyed, that'll be the exception, or that'll be the rule that proves that the exception is either true or false.
Yes, because I also think that we could. As much as I think Azrael will continue into the second season, if he's not going to, I think it could very much be a great send-off for Bad Girl to directly fly the ship into the line of fire of the big-ass laser to be like, you can't be allowed to get out of here. We're going down with the ship.
I don't know. I wouldn't want to see Bad Girl die. I mean, I see where you're going. You're going Independence Day with this.
Yes.
But I would rather them not. But I also, at the same time, don't anticipate Azrael surviving. So, I mean, unless he, tries to eject from a ship that everyone else survives on, I don't know how else it would go.
Exactly. And I don't think they have time to do it many different ways.
No. I mean, technically, they have 2 episodes. So, this episode and the next episode.
Yeah.
Although, technically, there's also something... we're going to do a 5-minute bonus that comes after the last episode, so I don't know. It's a possibility there.
I think it's also possible that if Azrael does continue, he becomes something more akin to what he despises. So he might almost die and then have to get some genetic modification to live.
I don't know that. I mean, because that hasn't been done to anybody before, except for maybe those 3 guys that they're using right now.
And that would also be a very interesting form of payback if he had to deal with the pain that they deal with, or the addiction that they're dealing with.
I don't know. Here's my problem: is that's a season 2 guess. And
correct.
Honestly, if I'm being 100% here, don't see the benefit of making season 2 guesses with you.
No, it makes perfect sense.
Only because that's going to be one of those awkward things. Like every time I've ever brought up something that me and Griff did with you, it's like there has no payoff for you because you're not Griff.
Of course.
If I make a guess with you, the best I'm going to be able to do in the future is tell lessons. Oh, that's a thing I talked to Justin about. It's like, this has no real payoff for me other than I'm going to be sitting on stuff I can't talk about.
No, absolutely. But that is my thoughts on it.
By the way, apparently Genesis had a cloaking device, the Mirage system, because Earth forces didn't even know it was there until they turned the Mirage system off. Also, it has phase shift armor, so, the super weapon is defended by the same system that Gundams are.
Yes, that implies same manufacturer, because you could also have the implication of the cloaking of not Yazix, but I can't remember his name's Gundam.
I don't know if it implies that, because remember, they've already reverse engineered the Gundams before they started throwing them out into the battlefield. Plus,
fair enough.
That reverse engineering allowed them to make their own Gundams.
Yeah. No, I think the reverse engineering is the proper explanation.
As for the firing of Genesis itself, I have no sympathy for the Earth Alliance forces. They were about to nuke population centers in deep space. It was about to be Bloody Valentine times 100. plus the admission that the person in charge of the operation was the original instigator of Bloody Valentine itself. And before that, the history of coordinators was one of oppression and struggle already. Fuck Earth, man. Patrick is right. The Earth Alliance stepped the game up from a war to a campaign of extermination. Genesis's first firing was a crackback, plus shock and awe. Scare them into standing down and surrendering.
Message of Gundam, war is bad. Escalation only leads to more problems.
Sure, but one side is clearly wronger than the other, is what I'm saying.
Oh, agreed.
Also, I mean, this is the anti-message here, but if you do eliminate all of one side, then the war is kind of over.
I can't disagree, because that is a factual statement.
Yeah, I mean, we could either make peace or kill enough people that the war is over. One of these two is actually easier to do.
It's true. It's true.
Especially if you have super weapons.
Oh, yeah. Well, in this case, I would say no, because both sides have super weapons.
One of them destroyed their super weapon, so only one side has super weapons. I mean, unless you're counting nukes, in which case we've got the meteor system, which is like
I'm not counting
targets
the
all
nukes.
of
I'm
them.
talking specifically the main character's Gundams.
Well, I'll skip to my last note then real quick, and I'll circle back around. So Rao is in a Gundam now, the Providence. He also left the locker room carrying himself like someone that was planning to not return.
I could 100% see that being the case.
But the Providence being a zaft mobile suit, or zaft Gundam, implies that it's going to be on the level of justice and freedom. So if you're counting those as super weapons, then Zaft has one too.
I think for this argument's sake, I am. I don't know. They would be on the lower end of the super weapon discussion in comparison to Genesis, but I think they still fall under the same.
Well, I mean, let's look at this here. Genesis, we've been told, with one firing, could make Earth uninhabitable to all life as we know it. The Gundam cannot.
That might be a compelling argument.
I think the best the Gundam has taken out, maybe like, I don't know, I haven't counted all the little dots that come up when it has the meteor system on its back, but I'm going to say 20 guys. So, you know, just that little level of 8 billion people in one shot, or 20 guys. It's a hard tell between which one's a super weapon.
I retract my statement based off that.
Yeah, even two of them. 20 guys at a time, two of them, 40 guys.
But yes, no, so I think on the scale of what we're dealing with, correct.
Kira is going back to the annoying character I found him to be before. Don't attack those who aren't attacking back, he shouts. I mean, sure, war crime to attack disabled targets and non-combatants, but those are the same people that were charging forwards to clear a path for the nukes to kill your families. The Zaft anger is 100% understandable. What they just tried to do is unforgivable. Maybe we give a pass to the people not present here, but the people taking part in the operation itself, they gotta go.
Yeah, I don't. This has got the nukes have become involved. If nukes were explicitly off the table, the moment that happens, anybody who is involved in this war effort is on the table to be taken out.
It's like retreating soldiers, right, from a massacre. The soldiers just took part in a massacre, and you're like, whoa, they're retreating. Don't shoot them. And we're like, Look at all the dead bodies. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, like
Maybe we have a discussion about their commanders and the guys, the troops back at base that didn't come out here and do this. But these guys, they gotta go.
Yeah, I do not think you have a discussion about the commanders. I think the commanders are more at fault than the soldiers they send out to the front lines.
There's a difference, I feel like, between ordering someone to do something and that person then doing them. There's the duty to morality that the soldier has the right to stand up to a illegal order or a non-moral order. So that even if a commander goes crazy, like, and orders you to do something, you still have the moral obligation to not do it. So if you choose to do it, that's your choice. You can then argue that the commander is just fucking nuts.
Yes, but at the same time, if the commander has a choice to order one way or the other, and they actively choose the choice that causes that damage, it's also on their head.
I think that if you're in a situation, say you're on your knees, right? And there's a guy next to me with a gun pointed at your head, and I'm shouting at him to pull the trigger. When he pulls the trigger, he is more guilty than me. We're both guilty.
Absolutely.
We're both guilty. He killed you. He didn't have to listen to me. I didn't actively have a gun to his head. He chose.
That's a fine line to walk.
I don't think it is. If I have a mental illness and I'm just like fucking out there and I'm shouting at this guy to kill you, he's the one that pulled the trigger. This isn't a guns kill people, people don't kill people argument. This is that guy actively chose to pull the trigger and kill a man. My words? How influential do you think I really am in that scenario? Because at what point can you say, take me out of the picture, and then that guy just chooses to pull the trigger on his own anyway?
Yes, but at the same time, you're applying active pressure towards the thing which you want to happen.
Which is why I said it's not like I had a gun to his head. I'm just using words.
Well, but like those in that moment, those words are effectively you saying forcing a pull of the trigger.
I think legally, I would be the lesser crime. I would be an accomplice. I wouldn't be the murderer.
Yes.
Well, you know how murder charges have different degrees. I think I would have a lesser degree charge.
I think it would depend on the level of involvement you had in the whole process. If you were actively involved in like the planning and kidnapping and the setup of said
that would make it premeditated.
That led there, then I think it would be equal fault. That's what I'm saying. Just because somebody who says drop the bomb didn't drop the bomb doesn't mean that they're not at less fault.
In my opinion, they are. That may or may not be reality true, but I mean, it's my opinion. They should be at
more fault in all reality, because what they did was they looked at all of the possibilities and said, no, we're dropping the bomb.
Again, though, my point is more so that a soldier has an obligation to do what's right and moral, and that they have the legal ability to stand up to their commanders. So when you pull the trigger, that is your choice to not invoke your obligation.
However, you're also looking at a wartime situation, which we don't know how the conventions work. And at the same time, we don't know what the consequences are of that saying no, even if it's what you're supposed to morally do.
Oh yeah, there's always going to be consequences.
But that's what I'm like.
That's also you making the choice to kill somebody over suffering an ill effect.
That is a very fine line to walk for responsibility. The way that I am for my career outside of this, I am a chef. I am one of the people who, if something isn't done, I hear about it. I would never put one of the people on my crew at a higher level of responsibility for something not being done than me.
I don't know. I
That
think
is
your
wrong.
example falls into a completely different category. Because, like, if you, like, used food that wasn't properly refrigerated and then a waiter brought the food to a person and that person dies of, like, so my brain just came up with sepsis. That's the wrong thing. I don't know what they ate. It must have been filled with microplastics.
Apparently.
God, what is it? The germ problem that you get with bad or over food that's expired and whatnot.
If it's chicken, it would be salmonella.
Probably salmonella is what I'm trying to think of.
But sure,
the one that killed a kid in, like, what's the one, the burger restaurant with the mascot's just a giant white face?
Oh, God. I know what you're talking about. I don't think it's salmonella, but yes.
It was something like that where the kid died because the dad made him eat a hamburger and the burger was
correct.
Bad, yeah. Wait, you wouldn't blame the waiter for giving them the food. It would go back. So it would be a literal reverse of the argument.
So the waiter would get a portion of the blame. However, that is not on the waiter most heavily. That is on the people at the top who were there that day, who should have caught the product being the way it is.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's the reverse of the argument.
No, so it's...
Because that would be like if the commander made the gun and the gun could go out on its own, but it was being carried by somebody else. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of a reverse argument because you're the one who made the thing that killed the guy rather than...
No. So what I'm saying is even if I'm not the one who made the thing that killed the guy, if it's the situation where somebody else cooked it, but it was on my watch, I'm not putting the blame on the person who cooked it as much as I am on myself for not catching it going out that way.
And you know what that sounds more like to me? A soldier's moral duty to take the responsibility.
But so that's what I'm saying. Once you hit a level of commander, you don't lose that moral duty. And in all actuality, if something happens under your watch, whatever moral duty is actively there falls far more on your shoulders than the soldier, because you have rank. You are the one who is in the position of power.
Thank God there's never been a person in power who's been able to deflect responsibility onto somebody else so that they could escape scot-free. Thank God that's never happened before in the human history. It
happens all the time, but it's not the way that it should be.
Yeah, sure.
That's what I'm saying.
And also, soldiers shouldn't be getting orders that they have to morally dispute.
But that's war.
Yeah.
And war is bad, and it never changes, and there is no winners, a la Gundam and its message.
I don't know. I'll just wait to get those comments.
Indeed.
To address the elephant in the room, the Earth Alliance nuclear first strike is what makes me on Zaft's side. I wasn't on board with Patrick's proposed genocide of naturals, and I'm still not about that. At the same time, the Earth Alliance has gotta go. They are nothing more... Sorry, it was 2 a.m. thought, I feel like, where I've written something that is illegible to myself. They are nothing more than an extension of Blue Cosmos at this point. If there is ever going to be peace between the two sides, we gotta lose Patrick and all of the Earth Alliance.
I don't know about all of the Earth Alliance that we've actively seen.
They're literally cheering and saying the racist statements as they launch the nukes. Not just Israel, just the guys in the carriers.
That's what I mean. All of the Earth Alliance people that we have seen need to go. I don't think losing that representation will help.
They literally represent the head of the Earth Alliance. These are the people who are calling the shots.
So exactly. What we need to do is change out the people at the head. Same thing like we need to do it on the zaft side.
Well, the zaft side's fine. I think we get rid of Patrick and a couple of the council members, and everybody under it's fine because we have.
Well, you have to drop anybody
again.
who showed. You have to drop anybody who was loyal to Patrick.
Yeah, there was a bunch of people who left with Siegel. The thing is, we're being shown that there's people in Zaft that would fight against Patrick. We have seen nobody on the Earth Alliance side. All of the admirals were all in on Cyclops and shit. They were all in one sub together, so we gotta get to the bottom of the ocean or else we're gonna get hit by Cyclops when this happens.
True.
That's what I'm saying. We've seen good elements in the Zaft leadership, none in Earth Alliance. Earth Alliance is rotten to the head.
From what we've seen, yes, but that cannot be that cannot be a true absolute.
People always act like absolutes can never be true.
Because it's statistically impossible.
Based on what statistics? What's your bibliography on this one?
If it's possible for the answer to be yes, it has to be possible for the answer to be no. It's how probability works.
I think at that point, there's acceptable losses. Like, your argument, I always, the first thing my head goes to is fucking Nazis, but at that point, you're like, there's probably, probability states, there's some good Nazis in here somewhere. And I'm thinking,
we've had that discussion.
Yeah, and I've always cut them out because I don't want that to be on our record.
Of course.
But, when your possibility is probability states there's a good Nazi in this room somewhere, I think the odds are we just gun everyone down and call it a loss for whoever the good Nazi was.
Oh, so that might be the case, but that is an active choice being made, taking the probability of said fact into account.
Like I said, acceptable losses.
Of course.
Right.
If you just get rid of Earth Alliance, the danger comes in the fact that you're creating a power vacuum.
Yes, but we're creating a power vacuum without a set, hierarchical structure for it to be taken over. That power vacuum is going to have to be grass-rooted its way back up again. And you can mess with that. Rather than giving them a whole, political structure, power hierarchy to just jump into.
I disagree, but I see the argument.
When I was taking my notes, I watched the dub version just to test it out. Not too bad, actually. I also like some of the line changes. Still hate the Kira and Lacus relationship.
I dislike it only because of the changes to Lacus's character.
Well, it just means hearing them in English does not make it any better. I, in fact, think they're a little bit more irksome. Because now there's no, it's not like there's an element of me having to read a translation of what they're saying, putting me separate from their emotions. Now it's just, I'm hearing it in English and I understand what they're doing. This is just annoying to me.
Yeah, so, on that relationship, as I said before everything hit the fan and Lacus became a super secret whatever she is, Lacus was a great fit in the state that we saw her of just helpful, naive, very able to take the pressures of the world around her and ignore them. And that's what Kira needed. Kira needed respite from the conflict. And now Lacus is like, conflict, let's go. It feels like Kira is very much addicted to combat. And Lacus is just giving him more combat.
It feels like the Lacus we got to know at the beginning was just Spy Lacus.
Yes.
Splacus, as I call her.
Lacus, absolutely.
Because obviously what Kira needed was Kigali, but then they made it a whole Luke Leia situation, so that was untenable.
No, Kira did not need Kigali.
Kigali
We've already
was
had
the
this
emotional
discussion.
crutch that he
We've
needed.
We've had this discussion.
30 episodes ago.
Kigali is not what Kira needed because they are both far too invested into the responsibility of conflict.
More so, they were invested. Well, Kigali was invested in making sure that Kira was a balanced individual at the time. Because Kigali wasn't even the admiral that she turned out to be back then.
But from the beginning, Kigali has always had a level head about conflict and has understood that sometimes decisions need to be made. That's not the person that Kira needs. Kira does not need someone who's going to morally question and hold him accountable. What Kira needs,
didn't know what he needed to do with himself for the longest time. Of course. Yeah, so he needed a person like that.
Kigali was a great friend in that moment. But what Kira needs in a partner type situation is someone who is willing to say, yes, you just killed 15 people in giant robots. That sucks. I want to tell you about my day. Someone who is just willing to be like, yeah, no, I see what you've done. I see what you're doing. I'm not worried about that right now.
Maybe you've forgotten that Kigali is that person. Kigali is literally holding pictures and like wanting to tell Kira all about this shit. She's literally doing the whole "let me tell you about my day" thing.
But it's not coming from a place of it's coming from a place of responsibility and trying to manage it versus genuine like, yeah, that's go. Kira needs someone who is more of an airhead and more.
But she's not an airhead. She's apparently been super spying it this whole time.
Which is why I don't like her now.
Everything that you said about Lacus, Kigali is.
Absolutely not. She carries the weight of responsibility the same way Kira does, which is not healthy for either of them.
Yeah, it'd be a real shame if you like partnered up with somebody who shared your values and operated in the same realms that you did, because
that's not values.
Person would better understand you.
That's tendencies, which is two different things. You don't want people with the exact same tendencies together.
I think you find that if your tendencies are repetitive in such a nature, they become values.
No, because values are what drives it. Tendencies are the actions taken.
Well, then they're values.
No, because the actions taken are not the drive. The values are what makes you feel the way you do to take said actions, which are the tendencies. It's a case of which came first, like the chicken or the egg. But you could values are something that prove who you are, but they change depending on your tendencies. If you say I'm a fan of supporting children, but then you walk around smacking kids, your tendencies show that those are clearly not your values.
What are you talking about? Some kids need to be smacked. Are you anti-bright?
Either way, that is why I have never liked the Kigali Kira pairing. They are too similar.
Well, I mean, you shouldn't like it because they're twins.
Even before that.
Well, then you're just wrong. Also, egg came first.
Most likely.
Well, that's how evolution works. Some creature that wasn't a chicken laid an egg, and out from that egg became a creature that would become known as a chicken. There was some sort of mutation in its biological DNA, which created the creature that we now know as the chicken.
Either way, that is what I have to say on that topic.
What is a mobile armor pilot? Rammus's dead lover was one, but the Earth Alliance hasn't had mobile suits until recently.
I'm guessing it's more of like a smaller scale, sort of like think Iron Man Mark 1 out of the cave type thing.
We have nothing. I don't even remember tanks.
Yeah.
He was a mobile armor pilot. Except that they haven't had mobile suits until recently, and I guess maybe not even at all. Because technically she's not in the Earth Alliance anymore. And the Earth Alliance only got mobile suits after she left.
Yeah, no, it's definitely something that's just left like, oh, what the, yeah. It's a statement that with zero accreditation.
Well, that's all of my thoughts. You have anything else you want to add before we get into this?
No, I'm good.
All right, well, I guess nothing left to do but get on into it.
Fuck yeah.
But before we get started,
Make sure that you hit the like button.
hit that subscribe button.
Comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this, unfiltered,
Uncensored.
And uncut.
as well as some early access stuff,
You can check it out over on the Patreon.
it's just $5 a month. But hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
地球軍艦隊進撃を開始します
Oh, sounds like a Star Wars laser.
そいつを探せ目標点入力月面プトレマイオスクレーター地球軍基地
オレンジ25マーク12アルファにドミニオン
That,
です
yeah, so
モビルスーツ
they're gonna blow up the moon.
ルーナフラガ
Or the moon base.
ディアカエルスマンバスター
Well, if it's powerful enough to make the Earth uninhabitable, I wouldn't be shocked
Because
if
it was like a radiation thing.
Yeah.
Because that's what we get shown in like the estimation thing, that they hit like one side of the Earth and so the thing starts glowing red and it spreads out.
あの
Yeah.
男にできて私にできないはずはない N ジャマーキャンセラー起動ニュークリアカートリッジに接続全システム接続オールグリーン
And the opening. There we go. Because literally that's right where the last episode ended. This is why I said they were about to shoot the moon,
Yeah.
which would just take out all the backup, I guess, because from what I understand, the lunar base's forces were about to launch to back up.
Now, it could destroy the moon if that's where the nukes are being held, like we previously hypothesized.
I don't know enough about how the thing works. Because basically they're using an end jammer to allow the nuclear, basically a nuke to explode and power the beam, which itself is just like the radioactive element
Mm-hmm.
of the nuke explosion being targeted or directed.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, that's the thing I was saying the first time we saw it go off. I wanted to see somebody pop.
Mm-hmm.
Because, when Cyclops went off, we saw people, like, explode. Like, just individual
Yeah,
people.
Cyclops did some damage.
Which is, I mean, we saw people, like, blow it up and explode. Everybody that's been hit by this has just exploded, so we haven't really seen, it's, like, the same. Took this long, but the song is starting to build on me.
It's not my style.
It's not a bad song.
Oh, I agree with that.
Good night, Moon.
あれはまさか推定される目標は
I mean, literally the speed that the beam was going, it should have hit the moon before you finished asking the question.
Correct.
艦長前方より巨大なエネルギー
And
Oh,
bye.
pops! There we go.
Yep.
Told you I was waiting for it. Also, that's completely their fault.
Yes.
God, this is like a horror movie thing.
Yeah, this is terrifying.
Yeah, maybe you're right. That kind of looking nuke. Even has a mushroom cloud.
Yeah.
No, I was saying it's their fault. because they literally launched from their base right in the direction of the giant beam weapon.
Yeah, no, I picked up on why you're saying it.
目標を撃破ミラーブロック完走急げ
Okay, so it's hyper focused, so it's clearly not going to take it out.
No, they took out the base.
I meant the actual moon.
Yeah, no. I mean, I was saying no, it wasn't going to destroy the moon. That's why it wasn't a argument about it destroying the Earth, just killing all life on Earth's surface.
Yep.
月基地を失っては地球軍はもう引くしかないわナタルこれ以上あれを撃たせては
Except that Azrael has made this entire argument about them not being allowed to keep Genesis.
Yep.
It's more important that you destroy Genesis than survive the battle.
Yeah, like depending on how many relays they have, Genesis is clearly the big problem.
Well, no, more so that he said if they just let them keep Genesis and retreat, they could shoot the Earth at any time.
It's not even just that, because then let's say you try and evacuate the Earth. Wherever you go, you're at risk of being hit by Genesis.
Well, no, I'm saying that was his argument. It was literally when Bad Girl says to pull back, he shouts at her that if we leave, it'll flare. Oh, Sutherland.
核攻撃隊を出せ目標はプラント軍だ
アズラエル理事
あの忌々しい砂時計一気残らず叩き落とすんだ
Really? You should be targeting Genesis. Fire all the nukes at Genesis.
This is why I'm confused about Azrael.
奴らを呼び戻して道を開かせろ了解しました
しかしそれでは
So why are you listening to him, Sutherland?
我々はあの兵器を
あもうどうしてそういちいちうるさいんだあんたは
Well, one, it's my last name.
Yo, the subtitles compared to what he's saying are wild on the English version. At least for this part.
Yeah, I was mentioning in the notes, the word replacements are pretty good.
Yeah.
Like in the subtitles, I believe Yazik says something like, let's do this, or something like that. But in the English, it's like, let's kick ass, or something.
Mm-hmm.
追いますエターナルと草薙はジェネシスを
わかった
そんなものを持ち出してどうされるおつもりです
Yeah, what's the point?
船を乗っ取ろうとでも言うんですか
乗っ取るも何も命令してるのは最初から僕だ
Yep.
君たちはそれに従うのが仕事だろうなのになんでいちいちあんたは逆らうんだよ
Yeah, literally just send her to the brig. Don't point a gun at her.
発進準備完了とのことですが発進させろフォビドゥンレーダーカラミティははいいくらあんなものを振りかざそうがプラントを落とせば戦いは終わるだいたいコーディネーターすべてが地球に対する脅威なんだぞ
Here it is.
We already knew that, though.
しかし
自軍の損失は最小限にそして敵には最大の損害戦争ってのはそうやるもんだろ
アラスカのことだけではないの私たちは地球軍そのものに対して疑念があるのよ
Ah, it's like that thing I said about the entire Earth Alliance being corrupt from the head.
実行できる兵とそれに広い視野で情勢を見据え的確な判断を下すことのできる指揮官が必要
To think you didn't like Ramus.
タイやカンは勝つことも生き残ることもできません
Oh, it's true. There's been a good portion of time where she's not been a great character. In my opinion.
Shame we never targeted the ships that are containing clearly all of the nuclear missiles.
あの部隊はやらせるか
I don't like somebody claiming they're gonna go in there to stop the nukes.
Well, I mean, if they still had the meteor thing, it'd be easy.
450
Agreed.
来るぞ3回プラントへ放たれる砲火一つたりとも通すんじゃない。ブルー117マーク52アルファにアークエンジェル接近してきます。
アンチビーム爆雷発射スレッジハマー装填
アークエンジェル接近中距離9000。さあ分かったらあんたもちゃんと自分の仕事しろよ。あの裏切り者の船よ今度こそ。
It's kind of a weird Victorious music playing as well.
Yeah.
Also has the feel of like, what's that submarine movie where they get the order to launch the nukes and one of them won't turn the key?
Don't know. Yep.
Kind of weird to think that you haven't bust that nut this whole time.
Hey, the value of busting that nut.
Bustin' makes them feel good.
No.
Like I said, I kind of expect Zaft soldiers to just like fly in front of the nukes, like take the hit.
Mm-hmm. Because you.
I mean, literally, he should have had somebody come up to arrest the captain.
Yep.
Then it would just be a matter of whoever's now in charge of the bridge ordering everyone. Literally every jiggle shot they could get.
Yep. Everyone.
I was just thinking we haven't seen the Providence.
Yeah. I don't like where her head's going.
I mean, it's crazy that we're thinking, oh, we can end this by destroying the civilian population centers. Turtle.
Yep, I had the same thought.
It's definitely different from every other Gundam.
True.
Or of that generation Gundam, I mean.
I would say every Gundam to this point, but I think
the three that the Earth guys have are completely different from everything. So in the realm of the free, oh man,
that's how
damn.
you spell toys.
No. Oh fuck, she's not even a coordinator. Anyway, I was gonna say those three have been with us since Orb. Now two of them are dead.
Well, this is the point where bodies start to fall.
No, we're in space. Oh, I mean, yeah, to be fair, you're asking the people who aren't aligned with anybody.
Yeah.
そんなこと俺は知らないね。やらなきゃやられる。そんだけだろうが。何？
Yeah, the motivation from the beginning of the show.
Yeah. There's the boy.
Yeah, but he was already zapped, so him fighting the Earth Federation Gundams isn't really like a...
True.
Yeah, there was no way my boy got killed in one shot. I just don't know what the implication of a natural having seed is.
I don't think she's a natural.
Well, there we go. That guy's dead.
I think she might be a natural-born coordinator. I think she might be a step in between.
No, because of that fight with Atherin. Oh, it's also weird because he's using... Oh, fuck, it's been forever since there's been a show where they've been in, so I don't remember what they're called anymore. One of the main things is that Ariel from Witch from Mercury had them, and I can't remember what they're called.
Mankind will destroy itself.
2 Earth Gundams down.
Yep. Get it.
Yes, he's never pulled a shot on a ship before. Gun bits. That's what they're called. Gun bits.
Got it. One of these 2 ships is gonna go down first.
Well, one of them is filled with main characters, so...
Yep.
That doesn't seem likely.
Yo, you have balls saying that in the position you're in.
Kira a couple episodes ago said, "Why do we even have these nukes? Or why? And then why do we have mobile suits or even guns?"
Yep.
It's like that's just a fundamental not understanding of the human nature.
Nope.
Killers.
You will become killers, but sometimes that's required to take out people who are worse.
Or win an Emmy.
True.
Dozel would tell you that they're not good enough. If they were good enough, they would have been able to protect their kids. Well, shit. The main characters are now going after the super weapon.
Yep. If Lacus wasn't a super spy, this would hit so much harder.
Not a real good time to be landing in the bay, though. Yeah.
Yep.
think we saw that on the next time. I was like, why was that happening all of a sudden?
何をやっている
Yep.
貴様こそ何のつもりだ。
総員配管しろ。
That's a weird order
Yeah.
to be following.
急げ。アーカンジェル行け。
Yep, called it.
Well, that girl's dead. No, she's gonna take 3 shots to the gut.
指揮官だと命令する立場だというのだ。
Or 1.
僕にこんなことをしてどうなるか分かってるんじゃろうな。
Nothing.
あなたはここで死すべき人だ。私と共に。
だと
2. I said 3. I'm waiting for 1 more.
Yep.
Granted, I don't want Batgirl to die, but I think at this point it's pretty far gone that she is gonna be fighting it.
ふざけるんじゃないよ。
Yeah.
ドアを開けろ。
Ow, that would hurt.
3 shots? Your gun had 3 shots in it?
何を。
僕は勝つんだ。そうさ、いつだって。
Yeah, no, no.
艦長、海兵。ダメです。間に合いません。
Yep. And we're gonna see our boy go bye-bye.
I mean, that was animated super hardcore.
It's true.
可能に。
Not even fucking wreckage.
No, it just disintegrated him. For a second at the end of that shot of her crying, I thought they were gonna give us a jiggle, but I'm happy they didn't.
ドミニオン、なお接近。
上映グリーン照準。
4.
I'm not counting any of them anymore. The thing is, I said gut shots too, and only one of them has been a gut shot. Also, there's an element of stupidity to the scene. He knew enough about the ship that he could aim and fire its main cannon, but was
Yes.
unfamiliar with the layout enough that he couldn't figure out that she just hit one button and it raised the door thing.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong on that.
I mean, it's a lot of sacrifices, though. It was a sad episode.
It was.
Yeah, we've like gone the whole season of setting up Moo as like the romance for Marius, and I don't think they death flagged him at all.
There
Oh.
was a point like midway through that I thought they death flagged him.
There is an element of no body, though. It seems weird that the entire thing vanished. Like, usually it's explosions and wreckage. It's not usually disintegrate completely.
I get what you're saying. I don't see how the element of no body works in this situation.
Well, I mean, my
we
thing
saw-
is probably I expect to see him next season.
Like Moo?
Yeah.
I don't understand how. Because we saw
Uh,
the
Hold on,
damage,
hold on.
the hurt.
ただ願ったことは撃つ者に罪あるのならそれを止めえぬ者たちもまた罪人か悪夢空に弾けるとき後に残る者は次回機動戦士ガンダムシード終わらない明日へ新たな世紀へ飛べガンダム
Alright. Sorry, my rebuttal to you is Kira.
Yeah, but yeah, my rebuttal to you is Yamato Jesus. Or Jesus Yamato.
Right. But if one person can survive a nuke to the face,
I get it, but I don't think that's what's. I don't see it.
well, you may have.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's outside of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, statistically, anything is probable.
Exactly.
I mean, there is a greater than 0% chance that he just flew up.
That sacrifice, I really hope he's not in the second season. And that's
I've
nothing
seen
against
enough
them.
stupid shit that I think it's possible. I mean, granted, I think they also showed us the decapitated head of his mobile suit. So, that doesn't denote that. What was the stupid comment that I shouldn't be mad about? That he didn't just get thrown from the mobile suit, tanked the heat, you know?
Yes, that was the comment that you should be perfectly fine with.
Well-
Zero issues.
I'm just saying. I could see him showing up the same way that, what's his name? The weeb character from Gundam 00. You don't know, but he just shows up again out of the blue, having survived. Basically exploding and then atmospheric re-entry.
I think it's hard to compare Mu to Kiro when it comes to that.
Oh, I don't think it's that hard. I've just done it like 3 times in a row.
But I think it makes that. I think it makes that moment just dumb.
I don't think it makes the moment dumb. The moment's very impactful. In retrospect, if he shows back up, it'll make it like less impactful.
That's what I mean.
But even that, I don't even think so, because it becomes like not a crime. It just becomes an action of passion, whatever that would be called. Like we destroyed the Dominion, even though we think that maybe Flay and Bad Girl are still on it, out of the anger that you feel that your lover has now been killed in front of you, or has sacrificed his life to save yours.
I get
Whatever
the
that
train
would
of
be called.
thought. I actively dislike it.
Well, I guess the only saving grace you have is you'll never find out unless I share it
True.
with you for no good reason.
Yeah. Which hey, if I get a message saying that the thing you actively dislike happened, I'll go. Shh. But yeah, again, it's build up to now the three main characters dealing with Genesis.
Who are your 3
We
main
lost-
characters?
Kagali, Kira, and Afin.
So you don't count Ramus as one of the main characters?
I count her as a 2.5. So above secondary, but not main.
Flay?
Same thing.
Rao?
Yeah. That's a hard one to place.
Yazik?
Absolutely not.
Jarka?
Absolutely not. As much as I know Yazik's your boy, absolutely not.
Patrick?
No.
Egyptian Rambo?
Egyptian Rambo is Gundam. He is above main character status.
But yeah, no, I mean, there's so many characters. I don't know. You're including Kigali in the bunch, and I don't think Kigali is counted as a main character.
I think Kigali earned her main character spot.
I don't think it's about earning. I don't think you can earn your way in a main character spot. Either you're a main character or you're not. I think it has to be Atherin and Kira.
Well, those two for sure. And if I had to rank them within the 3 of them, absolutely Kira #1, Athrun 2, Kigali 3.
Based on what?
The fact that we just saw Kigali seed.
No, I mean, what's your ranking system based on?
Jesus Yamato, his best friend, the person who just discovered their powers.
Okay, because my ranking system would be based on preference, so I'd go Athrun, Kigali, Kira. But if we're actually talking about main characters, then obviously it would go Athrun, Kira, and then not Kigali, because I don't think she's a main character. We don't spend all of our time with her.
I'm gonna.
Because even when we shift over points of view, it tends to be Athrun.
What do you think the possibility of Kigali dying next episode?
Not. She's literally the end of the credit scene. So, I don't think she's dead.
Okay.
Everybody else is a maybe, because like Walt Field's floating with this girl, but maybe the Eternal is going to get destroyed. But then Lacus would have to die, so that's not going to happen either, because Lacus is right there at the end of the credit sequence, too.
I think if there's anyone who... I would not be shocked if we lose Kigali.
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked either, but I told you before I'm jaded about anime, so the shock value isn't what I'm ranking stuff by. However, would make for a good reaction. Unfortunately, not what I'm coming here with. The flippancy is my reaction now. I was more shocked that those 2 out of 3 girls from Orb died.
No, I fully expected our orb additions to die, and I fully expected the Earth Forces Gundams to be taken out.
Well, it's just those were the start of people just suddenly dying. They're the indicators that shit's about to start going down. And we only saw 2 of them die.
Correct.
So it was Yuri, Asagi, I think?
I believe so.
Oh, I can't tell. Now I can't remember the hair. The problem is, sorry, I loaded up the board real quick, and it was super blurry because the images were loading in, so I couldn't remember who was what. Yuri was definitely, she's the first one, I think, that died. She was the glasses girl.
Okay.
But I can't remember if the other one that shouts Yuri had blonde hair or purple hair.
Well, I want to say blonde, but I'm not gonna claim to actively remember.
Well, I mean, if it was blonde, it was Asagi. The problem is they're all wearing helmets too. I did not see Mayura die, so Mayura may still be around. It's entirely possible everyone dies. Season 2 could be an entire new cast of people. Like I said, in the HD remaster, they added people that were like retreating from Panama that then showed up later at a Zaft Academy.
Okay.
And they were listed in the episode as only appearing in the HD remaster, but they're not actually, like, they don't have any roles or anything. Like, 2 of them are in the same family. Luna Maria Hawk and Mayurin Hawk. Also, the name Hawk is a fucking last name.
So in that case, do you think that we see just even Kira and Athrun go down in the process of destroying Genesis?
His fucking name is Jesus, and Jesus only came back from the dead once. Or, sorry, his nickname is Jesus, and Jesus only rose from the dead once. God, I wish I had done the math to see if it was revealed to everyone that Kira was still alive if it was 7 days later.
That
Maybe worthy of the nickname. I mean, it's not like the show ever says the nickname. It's put on him by us, but it would be more poignant if they came up with it because it was like that.
Correct. But yeah, that's my thoughts.
All right, because I guess the whole thing about this is going into it, we're not going to have like final notes about anything. We're heading right
Correct.
on into the end, and then a 5-minute bonus, I guess, addendum thing to the last episode. That'll be it for season 1.
It will, which is kind of, yeah,
It's been a 50-episode ride.
which is wild.
All right, well, once again, I have been Theta, this has been Justin, we've been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?